this is going to be a really nice, gentle stretch and relaxation session. So we're going to start lying on our mats. So come to standing at one end and sit yourself on the mat. And then roll yourself back and get yourself into the relaxation position. So we'll use this moment to focus our mind, bring it into our body, thinking about releasing any tension, thinking about our alignment. So scanning our body from our feet up, the feet and knees hip width apart, the feet nice light and flat on the mat, making sure that you've got as much weight through the front of the foot as you have through the heel. Sometimes if you just bring your heels a little bit nearer to your buttocks, you feel that you can feel your front of your foot a little bit more. So the feet neither turned in nor turned out. No tension in the thighs, either at the back or the front, so the knees feel nice and light. Pelvis relaxing in neutral without any tension in the buttocks. The only place you can have an awareness of the muscle connection is the pelvic floor and your lower transverse abdominal, but it's just enough to know it's there. It's not a contraction of any kind. And have that sense of your spine lengthening away from your pelvis, your neck lengthening away from your shoulders, which are nice and open both across the front, but also between the shoulder blades at the back. But keep your rib cage closed in and the back of the rib cage just gently connected with the mat. Your arms gently lengthening by your side, but without creating any tension in your hands or your shoulders. Relaxing your face, so softening your jaw, relaxing your jaw, releasing your tongue from inside your mouth. Have that sense of your cheeks and your forehead being smooth and free of any tension, and your eyes just light and as if they're floating in their sockets. And then we'll think about our breath. So breathing in through the nose and softly out through the mouth. Just gradually deepening your breath so it goes beyond just your upper chest and gets right down into the base of the lungs, filling out the rib cage, expanding the rib cage as you breathe in. And then feeling it come back together as you breathe out. So just a couple more breaths here, keeping that alignment, keeping your body nice and relaxed. And then we'll bring in some arm movement with doing rib cage closure. So the main focus is the breath, and you time the arm movements with the breath. So as you start to breathe in, you start to raise your arms above your chest. And as you breathe out, you start to take your arms above your head without any arching in your back whatsoever. Keep your arms roughly in line with your shoulders near your ears. Stay here, take a breath in, stretch your arms above your head. And then as you breathe in, you bring your arms, another in-breath above your chest. And as you breathe out, take your arms by your side. So we'll just do it on 2 breaths each way. So breathing in to bring your arms above your chest, and then a long out breath to reach your arms above your head. Then breathing in to bring your arms above the chest, and breathing out to take your arms back by your side. So we'll do a few more of these. Just do it at your own pace, your own level of breath, but just try and increase the breath a little bit more each time, but without bringing any tension into the body. And finish each breath. Don't be in a hurry with the arm movements. Just keep the arm movements timed with the breath. Breathing in to bring your arms back above the chest, and out to take them by your side. And for the next 2, we'll keep our arms above our head for an in and an out breath, just to allow everything to release around the shoulders. So with the arms stretched above the head, stay here for an in and an out breath. Keeping the base of the rib cage connected with the mat so you're not arching the back in any way. And then breathing in to bring your arms above your chest and breathing out to take your arms back by your side. So hopefully by now you've got a nice deep breath both in and a nice long breath out. I'll stay here for a couple of breaths. And when you finish this rib cage closure, let's go into arm circles. So now we take our arms above our head on one full in-breath. And then as we breathe out, we'll circle our arms back round to the side, back to our hips, keeping as near to the floor as our shoulder socket will allow, and continue breathing in to bring our arms above our head, finishing that in-breath, and then breathing out, stretching our arms out to the side and circling back around into the hips. So just keep going using the breath still. The movement is being initiated from the upper arm circling in the shoulder socket. So don't turn your palms, let your arms turn your palms. So the natural movement within that shoulder socket, that will happen automatically. Do one more circle in this direction and then we'll reverse the circle. So now breathing in to stretch your arms out to the side and above your head, coming as near to your ears as your shoulder socket will allow. And then breathing out to bring your arms over your head, back by your side. Keeping nice and open across the front of the chest and the shoulders. Don't close in across the front of the shoulders there. So breathing in to circle above my head. And breathing out to bring my arms back by my side. And just keep going at your own pace. Everything staying relaxed. Check your face is still soft. Your alignment is still good with your pelvis in neutral and your knees still in line with your hips. A couple more circles. As your arms come above your shoulders don't come up towards your ears. And then settle your arms back by your side, keeping nice and open across the front of the shoulders. So we're going to do our piriformis and glute stretches now. So start by bringing your right foot to the outside of your left thigh. Take hold of your right knee and draw diagonally up across your body to your left shoulder. And let's just relax here for a few breaths. Keep drawing, just little by little, drawing your right knee up towards the left shoulder. Keep your shoulders relaxed, your face soft. Don't take the stretch so far that you can't relax into it. Keep your left knee out in line with the left hip so it's gently pressing on the back of the right heel. And just breathe into this stretch. We're going to hold each of these stretches for roughly half a minute. So now keeping hold of your right knee, bring your left leg up and you can reach the right foot. So one hand on the right knee, one hand on the right foot, and drawing them both towards your chest, your upper body. And let's do some ankle circles on the left ankle here. Do your ankle circles in both directions. And we can do a few toe scrunches here, just scrunching your toes and then spreading them as wide as you can, just to isolate those toe joints. So now keep pulling your right foot towards you, but push the right knee away from you. Not the right leg, just the knee. So still use your left thigh to have your right leg as near to your upper body as possible. And let's relax and breathe into this. Just keep relaxed, a few more breaths here. And now drop your left foot onto the mat, release your right foot back in line with the right hip, and let's do the other side. So take your left foot to the outside of your right thigh, take hold of your left knee and draw up across the body to your right shoulder. So you're still drawing it up, not just across to the right hip, but up across the body to the right shoulder. And hopefully you're getting a nice stretch into this left buttock, left hip area. Just breathe into it, keep relaxed. If you want to increase the stretch, you take your foot further up the outside of the thigh, making sure your right knee hasn't dropped into your midline. It's pressing lightly on the outside of the left heel. And now keeping hold of your left knee, bring your right leg up and reach your left foot. So one hand on the left foot, one hand on the left knee, drawing them both towards your upper body, using your hands and your right thigh. And let's do some ankle circles on the right ankle. You can go in both directions, and you can do a few toe scrunches as well. No movement at the knee, just isolate this movement to the ankle. But keep pulling your left leg towards your upper body all the time. And keep breathing. Do a few toe scrunches here. And now keep pulling your left foot towards you, but push the left knee away from you. Keep using your right thigh so that left leg stays as near to your upper body as possible. And let's breathe and relax into this. So keeping the face soft, make sure your leg is relaxed, your hip is relaxed. And now drop your right foot onto the mat, and now let your left leg hang over your right thigh. So the back of the left knee is right over the right thigh. Arms by your side, palms down to keep your shoulders stabilized. Take your hips and your knees over to the right, and your left hip will come off the mat, but not your left shoulder. If you want the hip to come off a bit more, you put your right hand behind your left knee and slowly draw that hip over a touch more, but only keeping the left shoulder on the mat. And I'm going to turn my head towards the left. I get a gentle stretch in the right side of my neck. I'm going to keep my eyes closed and just relax into this. So just check your legs and hips are relaxed, that you're not subtly holding on to any tension. Couple more breaths here. And now pull in your core, get your back on the mat from the top to the bottom so you don't arch your back. Keep your legs crossed as they are and take your knees and hips over to the left. Now your right hip will come off, but not your right shoulder blade. So you've got your left leg over your right thigh now, so you don't need your hand, but just let that left leg be nice and relaxed over your right thigh and let the right hip come off a little bit more. So if you're at all tight on the outside of your right thigh, this is where you'll get a nice gentle stretch. Turning my head to the right so I get a gentle stretch on the left side of my neck, but keep your jaw relaxed and your face soft. Stay here for a couple more breaths. And now come back to the, stay here for a couple more breaths. I should stay here for a couple more breaths. And now, using your core, come back to the center and uncross your legs. So let's go do it with the legs crossed the other way. So now the right leg over the left thigh. Take the knees and hips over to your right, and you can roll your head to the left. So now you've got your right leg over your left thigh, so you don't need your hand, but let that leg be nice and relaxed. And if you're at all tight on the outside of the left thigh, or into the left lower back, you'll get a nice gentle stretch here. Now pulling in your core, come back to the center, keep the legs crossed this way while you take them over to your left. Keep your right shoulder on the mat, and if you want your right hip to come off a bit more now, you put your left hand behind your right knee and just slowly draw your right hip off the mat a bit more, but keeping your right shoulder just nice and relaxed on the mat. Turning my head a little bit more to the right to get a bit more of a stretch in the left side of my neck as well. And then coming back to the center, using your core, don't arch your back and uncross your legs. So we're back in the relaxation position, so our knees and feet are hip width apart, and we're going to go into spine curl. But we're going to start with some deep pelvic curls here, really focusing our connection with the pelvic floor on this lower transverse abdominal on the pelvic curls. So from neutral, take a breath in. As you breathe out, connect your core, pelvic floor and lower abdominals and do a pelvic curl. Don't force your pelvic curl too much on the first one. You do not want to use your buttocks and you don't want to lift anything off the mat. But you maintain this pelvic curl on your in-breath, making an extra connection with your core, and come back to neutral on the out-breath. So you do the pelvic curl on the out-breath, you maintain it on the in-breath and come back on the out-breath. So breathe in first. Breathe out, make that connection, pelvic floor, lower abdominal, and then do the curl, trying to get an imprint of your lower back into the mat, but without lifting your buttocks, your pelvis, and without using the buttocks. Draw that pelvic floor right up inside you, draw this lower abdominal right back towards the mat and your lower back before you come back to neutral. So as you continue with these pelvic curls, you might get more of a feeling of imprint in your lower back into the mat. as you gradually release that lower back junction where the spine meets the pelvis, that natural curve in your back being flattened out and lengthened, but keeping everything released, no tension whatsoever, but just making a really nice connection with your core. Really feel like just the core muscles are working, nothing else. So we'll do one more deep pelvic curl before we take that into a spine curl. You can keep the pelvic curl for 1 or 2 breaths. No tension in the thighs or the buttocks. So we'll start each spine curl with one of those lovely deep pelvic curls. So from neutral, take a breath in. As you breathe out, engage the core and do that pelvic curl again. But now keep curling the pelvis around, and it now will lift off the mat. You will also be using your buttocks. Lengthen your pelvis away from the shoulders of the neck. Don't lift the rib cage, just the pelvis. Stay up here for an in-breath, and then as you come down on your out-breath, you just one vertebra at a time, creating a bit of space between each vertebra, keeping your spine in the center. Get your lower back imprinted into the mat before the pelvis and the buttocks, and then back to neutral. Don't go just beyond neutral. So we'll continue with some spine curls here, and we'll bring our arms above our heads when you feel that you're sufficiently loose in the lower back. So don't hurry this, it's one vertebra at a time, nice and slowly, lengthening the pelvis away as much as possible. Keep the feet flat and light, don't press weight into your heel. So bring your arms up, don't take your arms too far behind you to begin with, because as you come out of your spine curl, you must still get your lower back into the mat. You do not want to miss out that very last vertebra in the spine before it meets the pelvis. So if there's any gap there at all, don't take your arms so far behind. And then when you're back in neutral, bring your arms back by your side. Each time, get to the top of your spine curl and see if you can take it just a tiny bit further, lifting it, lengthening it away, not arching the back in any way. And you can then start to take your arms a little bit further behind your head, but still keep your shoulders relaxed. The further behind you take your arms, the harder it is to get your lower back, that last vertebra, into the mat. So really work hard to get that pelvic curl back again. And when you're back in neutral pelvis, bring your arms back by your side. Let's do 3 more, just at our own pace. So at no point is any pressure going up into the neck. Always lengthening the spine as you come into the spine curl and as you come out of it, away from the neck. If you find there is pressure in your neck, maybe your head cushion's a little bit high, you might want to just take it away from you, or if you've got 2 cushions, take 1 away. And as you come out of the spine curl, make sure you don't wobble from one side to another. Use all your abdominals, use your core still. So when you land on the pelvis, you're landing right in the center. I'm going to do 1 more. back to neutral, and then bring my arms back by my side. Excellent. Okay, so let's come to sitting, and then we're going to come onto all fours. So lengthen your legs away, and then roll yourself up. Come to sitting on your sit bones, and then lengthen your body over your legs. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. So keep that sense of length in your body, lengthening your head towards your toes. Hold on to your legs wherever you can comfortably reach. And then draw your toes towards you, even if you can't hold on to your feet. And keep the back of the knees just relaxing down towards the mat. And focus your breath into the back of your rib cage here. A couple of nice deep breaths. And then walk your hands back up your legs and sit nice and tall. So come onto all fours, get yourself into a good 4-point kneeling position, and we're going to do the cat. So make sure your hips are above your knees, your feet are in line with your knees, so if you look between your legs you can't see your feet. Your wrists are below your shoulders and your hands nice and wide, so you've got that nice spread of support. Never sinking into your wrists, so use your whole body to keep lengthened away from them. Gentle engagement in the core to keep this connection underneath. So always starting with the pelvis, ending with the head. So take a breath in and then tuck your pelvis under. See how far you can tuck the pelvis around without affecting the rib cage. And then you start to bring your spine up to the ceiling, and then you drop your head to look between your knees. And stay here on an in-breath, reaching away between the shoulder blades. Get that lovely stretch between the shoulder blades. And then keep your head down, start from the pelvis. Lengthen the pelvis towards the back wall as you start to flatten out your spine, and then you're lengthening the top of the spine away from your pelvis. So you're stretching in opposite directions, both ends. So really reach your chest towards the front wall. Keep your head up here and then tuck your pelvis around as far as you can. Keep tucking it around as you bring the rest of the spine, working from the base of the spine up to the top. Dropping your head, see if you can drop your head a little bit more. And so reaching away from your wrist to get that lovely stretch between the shoulder blades, and keep your head where it is as you always start from the pelvis, lengthening your spine towards the back wall, and then you're going to lengthen the top of the spine towards the front wall. Keep the shoulders nice and open, so really stick your bottom to the back wall as far as you can. And keep your head up as you start from the pelvis, always starting from the pelvis, ending with the head. Nice stretch between the shoulder blades, tucking the pelvis around as much as I can. And starting with the pelvis, have that sense of stretching and lengthening your spine. So your hips stay above the knees the whole time. You're not rocking back and forward. Let's do one more each way. So end with your spine up to the ceiling. And then just come back to neutral. And come back to sitting on your heels, and just do a few wrist circles just to loosen up the wrists. And then clench your fists and flick your fingers. And then we'll do the threading the needle to get a bit of rotation in our spine. I'll turn the mat just a little bit around so I'm facing you. So again, get yourself set up in your 4-point kneeling position, keeping nice and active in the body. And then I'm going to transfer the weight to my left wrist, left arm, and take the back of my right hand just on the inside of my left wrist, keeping my hand and the forearm on the mat. I'm not going to go too far on the first one on each side, so I just loosen up the back nice and gently. Stay here for a breath or two, just to allow the muscles to adapt to this position. And then coming back to the center, pulling in the core. Your body brings your arm back. And your spine is back in the center. Then bring this arm up to the ceiling. Stay there for a breath before you bring your hand back underneath your wrist. And then we'll do the other side. So we'll do 3 each way. So just drawing that arm through, and that brings the shoulder around, shoulder blade around. Staying here for a breath. If you're very tight, you can stay for more than one breath. So again, as much as possible, the hips stay above the knees. So you're not rocking back and forth, you're just rotating your body. So imagine your spine is like this slippery pole and your ribcage is like this barrel that wraps around that slippery pole. So here you're trying to rotate a little bit more. It's like you're trying to reach something from under the bed. So you can reach a little bit further now. You've done one already on this side, but don't take it too far if you're tight in the back or the shoulder blade. And then your body brings your arm back. By now my supporting arm is straight. I bring that other arm back up to the ceiling, looking towards my fingers, so get that movement in my neck as well. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. So alternate, don't do 3 on one side and 3 on the other. Do 6 in total alternating. Just keep nice and relaxed into it, keep your breathing soft. One more on each side to do. And then when you've done your 3 on each side, come back into the rest position, so knees wide, feet together. And then take your forehead onto the mat, your arms stretched above your head. If you have your arms straight with your elbows off the mat, again you get another nice stretch in your upper back and upper shoulders. And focus your breath into your back here, feel the back of your ribcage expanding. And we're going to do a couple of side stretches here. So keep your head between your arms and your arms parallel, and start walking your arms over to your right. So in order for your arms to stay parallel, your left arm has to travel a bit further, and that's where you'll get the nice stretch on the left side. So keep sitting on your heels. Don't go too far that it's too strong a stretch, just enough until you feel that stretch, and breathe in here. Couple of breaths, and then walk your hands back to the center. So we're going to do 2 on each side. So keep your arms parallel and your head between your arms, so the upper body moves as one unit. So I've now gone to my left side, so my right arm has to travel a bit more to keep up with the left and keep parallel with the left, and I've got a lovely stretch on the right side of my body now. Breathing into here. And then I'm going to do 1 more on each side. So just walking your hands back to the centre and then over to the right. You might be able to go a little bit further, but don't force anything. And then last time back over towards the left. With my right arm travelling a bit further and getting the stretch on the right side of my body. And then walking my hands back to the centre. 1 more deep breath into your back here. And then sitting on your heels, come to sitting and restacking your spine to sitting nice and tall. I'm going to move my mat back to where it was, and we're going to do the Cobra. So come to lying on your front, get yourself set up for the Cobra. Make sure that when you lie down, your chest isn't compressed up towards your throat. Have your legs wider than your hips, with the heels turned towards each other, toes away. You want to make sure that you feel the front of your hip bones on the mat, so your back isn't arched in any way, but keep any tension out of your buttocks. So you're nice and wide across the shoulders, so your arms will probably be off your mat, thumb roughly in line with your eye, and your palms flat. So we're going to do 6 of these, so don't force anything. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, pull in your core to protect your lower back, but not your buttocks. Roll that imaginary marble along the mat, enough to roll off the mat, so you've got a little curve in your neck. Now use the muscles between your shoulder blades to lift your chest away from the mat. And then if you want to come a little bit higher, you just transfer a bit of weight into your hands. You don't press into your hands. Stay up here for at least 1 breath to allow your muscles to adapt and open and stretch along the front of your body, all the way from your pubic bone, all the way up the front of your spine and the front of your neck. And then as you come back down, keep pulling in your core and your tummy, getting your spine on the mat from the base, working up to the top, getting your elbows onto the mat as soon as you can, so you're using the muscles between your shoulder blades, and your neck and the head come down last. So just keep doing these at your own level, at your own pace. Don't hurry it. Think about 1 vertebra at a time coming off the mat, always lengthening the spine away from the lower back. You shouldn't have any discomfort in the lower back. If you do, maybe you're just pushing off your hands and not using the muscles between the shoulder blades. Stay up each time for a full breath, if not a couple. And then as you come back down, you're still pulling in your core and your abdominals. You're getting your elbows on the mat when you can, so you start using the muscles between your shoulder blades. So it's both a flexibility exercise and a strengthening exercise, the Cobra. And you'll find that if you just allow your back to gently open up in this extension rather than flexion, you'll just come up a little bit more each time without any feeling of effort or discomfort. Keep the shoulders down and open. They don't creep up towards your ears. Always lengthening away from your lower body. So all these stretching exercises should be done with a little bit of effort, but no strain. Each time just getting a little bit more, encouraging a little bit more out of your body in a really gentle way. If you get to the stage where you're finding you're just not getting to having completely straight arms, your body just doesn't want it on this particular day. I've lost count, so I'm going to just do one more. I can't remember if that's 5 or that was 6. Better to do one more than one less. If you feel you've had enough, you can come into your rest position again. Push myself off just briefly in the rest position. Just stay here for a couple of breaths. Nice long arms stretching above the head. Nice deep breaths into your back. And then come back, restacking your spine, sitting on your heels, unless your knees don't allow it, in which case come to high kneeling. And let's just get a nice little stretch back from here. So I'm just going to lean back, keep the pelvis tucked under, just get a gentle stretch through my quads into my knees. And then come back to sitting nice and tall. Okay, let's do the chalk circles and get us a nice movement in our shoulders and opening out our chest. So you'll need about 3 inches of cushion. So I'm going to use my 2-inch yoga block and my 1-inch head cushion. I'm going to use a light weight. I don't have a shoulder problem. If you have a shoulder problem on the side that you have that problem, don't have the weight. It's a little bit strong. So get yourself set up into a side lying position. So the legs in chair position with the shins parallel to the front of the mat. Nice long body both through the front and the back, dropping my head down and then moving the head cushion so nearly all the head cushion is behind me. So this underneath shoulder down and away from my ears, and then I'm going to put the weight in my top arm. So let's do 6 chalk circles on each side, making them nice flowing movements. Don't lift your head off the mat, just let it roll, not on the mat, on the cushion, let it just roll. Trying to follow the movement of your arm. There's a little bit of a blind spot, but then when you can, just follow that movement. Then you get a little bit of movement in your neck. Keeping your arm as low to the floor as your shoulder socket will allow. Come over the hip, over the knee, onto the floor and in front of your fingers to get that stretch between the shoulder blades. So just keep it flowing. Take your arm high if it's not comfortable, low. Don't force anything necessary. You have to bend your arm and lead with the elbow if you do have a shoulder problem, but this is brilliant at opening it up in a very gentle way. I'm going to do a couple more on this side. And then I'm going to turn over and do the other side. So I'll still face you. Take time to get yourself set up into a good starting position. Underneath shoulder away from your ear. Nice long, keep nice and long in your body. And most of the cushion behind your head. And then when you're ready, start the chalk circles on your other side. Remember, each shoulder's different, so treat it differently. Don't expect the same out of each side. Just listen to your body all the time. Keep the knees together, but just allow the hip to lengthen away from the knees. And that's when you get this nice opening out. Otherwise, you're just rolling onto your side. I'm going to do a couple more. And then come back to your starting position. Good, so let's stay on our mats, but reduce your head cushion just to the normal head cushion that you normally use, because we're going to go back onto our backs and we're going to do the leg stretches with the band. So get yourself back into the relaxation position. Always thinking about your alignment. Still keeping your body nice and relaxed and focused. Let's start with wrapping the band around our right foot. So wrap it around the ball of the foot, hold the band one end in each hand. Your elbows can relax on the mat so you don't start bringing any tension into your shoulders. And we'll stay here for a few breaths, keeping straight behind your right leg, behind the right knee, reaching your right heel up to the ceiling and drawing the front of your foot down towards your body using the band. So keep the pelvis nice and grounded. You're not lifting the buttocks or the pelvis. You're lengthening your heel away from your buttock. Keep using your breath to allow any tension to release. Allow the muscles to lengthen. And now working from the outside of the right ankle, turn the sole of the right foot in. Initially, your big right toe should be in line with your right shoulder. And then if you want to increase the stretch, you're not getting much of a stretch there, take the whole leg across the body a few inches until you get your stretch. Still keep your elbows relaxed on the mat. Still keep your shoulders relaxed. You can have your eyes closed or open, but keep your face soft and keep your whole body just relaxed and released. Just check to see if you could straighten behind the knee a touch more. And now take both ends of the band in your right hand and point your right foot and take your right leg out to the side away from you. You can relax the bent left knee out in the opposite direction. So the right foot is pointed, the right leg is turned out slightly from the top of the thigh. So you can either keep the leg high and draw it up towards your right shoulder, or you can experiment and take the leg a little bit lower and get a slightly different stretch. So work out where you need the stretch the most, but keep the foot pointed and keep the leg turned out. And keep the left knee relaxed out the other way as well. Keep the elbow relaxed. Check your wrist alignment. The back of your right hand is on a straight line to the back of your right forearm. There's no compression at the wrist there. And now bend your right knee to bring it back above the right hip, and then you can straighten it again. And back to a flexed right foot now, and both ends of the band in your left hand. So keeping the foot flexed, it's not turned in, isolate your right leg across the body. Keep straight behind the knee, but don't let the right hip come off. It's quite a strong stretch, so it might not go very far. And we'll just breathe into this for a couple of breaths. And now I'm going to relax my bent left knee out of the way and let my right hip slowly come off, taking my right leg to be roughly parallel to the floor, but keeping my right shoulder blade relaxed on the mat. Careful of my wrist alignment on the left side of my hand, or my left arm. And we're going to stay here for quite a few breaths. So really let your leg relax into the band. Let the band support your leg. Focus your breath into wherever the tension is and just visualize it releasing. I'm going to stay here for quite a few breaths. Just check you're not subtly holding on to any tension in your right leg. Keep your right shoulder relaxed. Keep reaching away through the heel and keep straight behind the knee. So a couple more breaths here. And now bend your right knee right into your chest. Use your core, come back to the center without any arching in the back. And now let's swap legs into the band in midair, and we'll do the left leg. Dropping your right foot down in line with your right hip, back to holding the band one end in each hand. Pelvis stays nice and grounded, and you're lengthening the left heel away from your left buttock. So reach the heel up to the ceiling. The foot isn't turned in here, it's just flexed. Elbows relaxed on the mat. And then use the band to gently encourage, millimeter by millimeter, your left leg further up above the hip. And now working from the outside of the left ankle, turn the sole of your left foot inwards. And then if you're not getting much of a stretch with the leg above the hip, you can take the leg a few inches across the body until you get your stretch. So you'll feel the stretch on the outside of the left shin. Sometimes it might go further up the outside of the leg. You also get a nice stretch on the outside of the ankle. Now take both ends of the band in your left hand. Now take your left leg away from you or to the outside of the body. Relax the bent right knee out in the opposite way. So your left foot is pointed and the left leg is turned out from the top of the thigh. So you either keep the foot high in the direction of your left shoulder or low towards the mat. But keep the foot really pointed, keep the leg turned out. And we'll relax into this for a few breaths. And now bend your left knee to bring it back above the hip. You can bring the right knee back up in line with the right hip too. So back to a flexed left foot and both ends of the band in your right hand. So keeping the left hip on the mat to begin with, isolate your left leg across the body. Keep reaching away through the heel. Your foot isn't turned in, it's flexed. Stay here just for a couple of breaths on this one. And now you can relax the bent right knee out of the way and let the left hip slowly peel off, allowing the left leg to come down roughly parallel to the mat. Watch your wrist alignment, keep the left shoulder relaxed on the mat, and we'll stay here for quite a few breaths. Keep straight behind the knee, keep reaching away through the heel. Couple more breaths here. And now bend your left knee into your body, come back to the center without arching the back, and then take the band away from the feet, away from the foot, and put to one side. So we're going to finish with some roll downs. So lengthen one leg away and then the other leg. And then roll yourself up. Come to sitting on your sit bones and get a nice stretch over your legs here. Breathing into your back. And then sitting nice and tall. So come to standing, but let's keep this nice sense of just keeping totally relaxed still. Again, just do straight roll downs, just to open up the spine, gently wake us up a little bit if we're feeling a little bit soporific from all that lying down work. So get yourself into a good standing posture, keeping the feet and knees hip width apart. And breathe in and lengthen through your spine, and then start your roll down on your out breath, starting from the top of the neck. You can either do the whole roll down on the out breath or just breathe. Keep your head totally relaxed, your arms relaxed. Keep the weight centered on both the legs evenly, and just roll yourself down as far as you feel comfortable. Stay here for a couple of breaths, breathing into your back. Keeping your shoulders away from your ears and then scooping in your core. Coming up, restacking your spine from the base all the way to the top. So get that pelvis all the way back to neutral, and the rest of the spine will float on up. Breathing in to lengthen through the spine. And then starting from the top of the neck. So keep the face soft, keep your jaw relaxed. Just coming down nice and slowly and hanging here for a couple of breaths. So feel nice and grounded through your heels, lengthening your buttocks away from the heels. Shoulders open and away from your ears. And then when you want to come up, scooping in the core. Still keep the shoulders open, but just work from the pelvis to get that pelvis all the way back into neutral, and the rest of the spine just lengthening up in a lovely, gentle way. So we'll add some extra hamstring stretches on the next one. So roll down as far as your body will allow. And now bend your knees and get more of your hand on the mat than you could otherwise. And keep your hands in that new position and gently straighten behind the knees. Don't snap open, just nice and slowly easing open there. So do about 5 of these bends and stretches. And then come on up. And let's do one more like that. So just rolling down, see if you can go a little bit further each time, keeping the knees straight, and then bend them to get your hands on the mat, as much of your hand as you can manage without causing any tension. So if you can't reach, your hands don't reach the mat, then maybe just your fingertips can touch the mat. So you want to be able to keep your hands in that new position and almost stretch open behind the knees, even if you can't completely. Coming back up to neutral. So we're just going to do a couple of rising on our toes and bringing our arms up, just to really open out the body and give the body a nice stretch to finish with, just to wake ourselves up and give us a bit of energy. So we'll use the breath. We'll do 3 of these. So breathing in, rise onto your toes and bring your arms up and stretch. And then circle your arms back round by your sides. Slowly come down through your feet. Let's get a little squat here to get that nice stretch in our calves, and then straighten the legs. So just do a couple more in your own time, using your breath as well, and stretching the body and opening it up. Nice deep in breath, and then a lovely long full out breath to come back down. Nice little squat to stretch those calves and the heel, and then straightening up. And just give a nice little shake, just nice and gentle. And thank you very much.